Hey, thank you for joining us on this episode of Sports Bets for Free. My name is Scott Jenkins, your host, just a local sports bettor here in Phoenix, Arizona. And hopefully today with our picks and your picks, it'll be another profitable day for you. Saturday, August 19th, Major League Baseball slate. Just a reminder, 4 teams we figure follow: Cubs, Dodgers, Royals, Blue Jays. The Dodgers have a doubleheader, and the Royals are playing the Cubs this weekend. Royals get a win yesterday in the opener of the series. Singer versus Justin Steele today. Singer's been last 4 starts has been pretty amazing. Hasn't given up over 3 earned runs in any of those starts. Has went deeper into games, looking more like his 2022 self. Justin Steele, on the other hand, though, has been giving up about 3 runs a start, and it's been real rocky. The Cubs are another big favorite today at almost 2-1 on that. But we are that number's come down a little bit from where it was, but yeah, I don't see a reason not to back one of the hottest offenses in Major League Baseball right now. And it's crazy to say, but that's what the Royals have been. So we are going to take the Royals money line plus 1.5, plus 2.5, minus 1.5, and minus 2.5 on the run line. And once again, their team total's at 3.5. For the Royals, I understand Steele's pitching. He's got an excellent ERA for the season. But, last 3 weeks, 4 starts has been a little rocky. So we will take the Royals over 3.5 team total. Like I mentioned, Royals plus 0.5 first 3, first 5, and plus 1.5 the first 7 innings. Brady Singer over 17.5 outs. Justin Steele under 18.5 outs. I'm going to tell you this, he hasn't went over 6 in forever. I don't know where the 18.5 is, so under 18.5 outs is definitely going to be a big play for us. Justin Steele over 2.5 runs, and like I mentioned, his last 3 starts, he's given up over 3 earned each time. And then we've got Bobby Witt. Miguel Garcia, if he's back in the lineup today, he left early yesterday. And then Nelson Velasquez, over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Velasquez, Witt, and Garcia over 1.5 total bases. I'm sorry, Velasquez is only over half a total base. My apologies on that one. Bobby Witt, Garcia, Velasquez to double. Bobby Witt, Velasquez to home run. And then Bobby Witt for a stolen base, which is big money for him today. It was like plus 330 on DraftKings. So you might want to check that one out. I understand it's a left-handed starter, and Bobby Witt's been on fire. A couple hits yesterday, including a homer. Could have possibly been 3 hits for the 3-hit day. He's been rocket fire definitely over the last month on that one. So we'll run through that Royals-Cubs game again for you. Royals money line plus 1.5, plus 2.5, minus 1.5, minus 2.5 on the run lines. Royals over 3.5 team total. Royals plus 0.5 first 3, first 5, and plus 1.5 the first 7 innings. Singer over 17.5 outs. Justin Steele under 18.5 outs. Justin Steele over 2.5 earned runs. Witt, Garcia, and Velasquez over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Velasquez over 0.5 a total base. Witt and Garcia over 1.5 total bases. Witt, Garcia, Velasquez to double, and then Witt and Velasquez to home run, and then Bobby Witt stolen base. Next game we'll get into is going to be game 1 of the doubleheader because of Hurricane Hillary coming in. Marlins versus Dodgers. Yuri Perez versus Caleb Ferguson. I'm going to give everybody a heads up here. If you've not seen Yuri Perez pitch for the Marlins, you're in for a treat. 20-year-old, got dynamic stuff. Definitely a lot of fun to watch. So if you get a chance this afternoon, make sure you tune that in just to watch Yuri pitch towards the start of that game. Like I said, a lot of fun to watch. Definitely a young superstar budding there. So, and the Dodgers coming off an embarrassing loss yesterday, as Gonsolin was playing home run derby with the Marlins. But normally when you come off a big win streak, once that streak ends, the second game is also a loser. We're following that kind of philosophy today, and the Marlins are a big dog with one of the most exciting pitchers out there. So game 1 of that Marlins money line plus 1.5, plus 2.5, minus 1.5, and minus 2.5 on the run lines. Marlins over 3.5 team total. Marlins plus 0.5 first 3, first 5, and plus 1.5 first 6. Yuri Perez, who we were just talking about, over 5.5 strikeouts. That'll be up there closer to one of our biggest bets. Yuri Perez to win, and Perez under 2.5 earned runs. Then we also like Berger, Soler, and Bell all over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Berger, Soler, and Bell all over 1.5 total bases. Berger, Soler, and Bell to double. Berger, Soler, and Bell to home run. Just a reminder, since there is a doubleheader today, there might be some flip-flops on this one, or there might be a guy out of the lineup, so make sure you check those lineups. We're recording this about 4 hours ahead of game time, so the next couple hours, those lineups should be set, and that's why you're not going to hear, like game 2 we'll get into just a little bit as we run down through the schedule, but there's not a lot of batter or pitcher props yet on that one because we just don't know what the lineups are going to be. So we'll run through that game 1, Marlins, Dodgers. Marlins money line, plus 1.5, plus 2.5, minus 1.5 and 2.5 on the run lines. Marlins over the 3.5 team total. I think they're kind of begging you to take that as well as like they were with the Royals. Marlins plus 0.5, first 5 innings, plus 1.5 the first 7. Eury Perez over 5.5 strikeouts. Eury Perez to win and under 2.5 earned runs. Berger, Soler, and Bell over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Berger, Soler, and Bell over 1.5 total bases. Berger, Soler, and Bell to double, and Berger, Soler, and Bell to home run. So the next game up for us is going to be Blue Jays and Reds. Blue Jays, Bassett pitching today against Brandon Williamson, the left-hander for the Reds. Bassett's been what Bassett does a lot of times. You know, he gets you 6 innings. He gets you, it's going to be two or three runs given up. Normally a long ball in the mix as well. But he's solid every time out. The Blue Jays bullpen has been really, really good as they've been in this. They haven't tanked since Bo Bichette went out, but they've held it kind of together. Winning some low-run ball games. But the good news is Bo Bichette is expected back today. So that's great news for that Blue Jays offense. Maybe they can get Paul DeJong finally out of the lineup. I think he's 1 for 40 or something. The guy, I don't know what happened to that guy. The guy was an all-star a few years ago, and he's turned into absolute garbage. But we do like the Blue Jays today because Bichette's coming back. So we will take Blue Jays money line, minus 1.5, 2.5, and 3.5 on the run line. Blue Jays over 5.5 team total. That was a huge team total, I thought, but they do hit left-handed pitching well. And then, like I said, with Williamson starting today, a good possibility for them to break out of this kind of crappy run streak that they've been on, except for 2 games over the last few weeks. So Blue Jays money line, though, first 3, first 5, and first 7 innings. Bassett over 17.5 outs recorded. And then we're getting into the batter props with Bichette and Merrifield over 2.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Springer over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Bichette, Springer, and Merrifield over 1.5 total bases. Bichette, Springer, and Merrifield to double. And then Bichette, Springer, and Merrifield to home run. So we'll run through that Blue Jays Reds game again with you. Blue Jays money line, minus 1.5, 2.5, and 3.5 on the run line. Blue Jays over 5.5 team total. Blue Jays money line, first 3, first 5, and first 7 innings. Bassett over 17.5 outs. Bichette over 2.5 hits, runs, RBIs, as well as Merrifield over 2.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Springer over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Bichette, Springer, Merrifield over 1.5 total bases. Bichette, Springer, Merrifield to double. Bichette, Springer, Merrifield to home run. Last game of the day is going to be the last game of the night in the baseball slate. It's going to be Dodgers and Marlins game 2. Urias versus Braxton Garrett are the scheduled starters. Like I mentioned in this game, pitcher props and batter props are just not out yet because we don't know what the lineups are going to be. We'll see what happens game 1, who's starting in that game, and then that should give us a pretty decent idea of game 2. I mean, we should say we do like the Dodgers in this one, so I'm assuming we're going to see Mookie in both games and Freddie Freeman in both games, but Will Smith might only play 1. Muncy might only play 1. Rosario, those guys are probably going to flip-flop around a little bit. So make sure you do check that out and keep an eye on it. But for game 2, we do like Dodgers money line, minus 1.5, 2.5, and 3.5 on the run lines. Dodgers over 4.5 team totals where we grab that for the Dodgers team total in game 2. Dodgers money line first 3, minus 0.5 first 5, and minus 0.5 first 7 innings for the Dodgers. And like I said, make sure you do check out the comment section on this video. So you'll have a link to the Google Sheet. You'll see all the updated batter props and pitcher props, especially for this game. And there also might be some changes for game 1 as the lineups come out. as well. So make sure you do check that out. As always, I do apologize there. We're also going to have some shorts that'll come out a little bit later today. We do have one major preseason bet that we like today. Is the Chiefs. Just to give you a heads up, it's going to be the Chiefs in the first half, as Mahomes is supposed to play most of the first half. It is a big line for the first half. It's at 6.5, but it's something we are going to throw the gauntlet down, throw the hammer down, so to speak, on that one. So you should make sure you do check that out. And then we'll also have a bunch of UFC stuff for tonight as well, as that's coming around the corner. So make sure you do hit subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you will get all that information first. That way you can see if it matches up with your bets, and if so, give you a bunch of confidence to go to the window or go to the app and hopefully make lots of money this Saturday. And I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow.